And what's up, everybody? This is Brian Holiday, and I'm here on Not a Journalist with the one and only Rebecca from WatchMojo. Yes, folks, bong! Look at that wonderful smile. One of the most beautiful smiles
Hi.
on the internet. Cheers, cheers.
Okay,
Ching,
that's
ching.
lies, but very sweet.
I mean, you've always had a wonderful smile ever since I've known you, so I feel like I can make that brag.
Fine.
I was also hoping you would say it back to me, but that's cool. It's okay. I know my smile is subpar. I worked on
Actually,
this.
you do. You have one of the most infectious smiles. That is true.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm really bad at taking compliments and also giving them, apparently.
I totally am just setting you up to tease you. I'm just bugging you.
I know.
It's fun. It's because I haven't spoken to you in such a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, I went to university with this young, awesome person who has been doing some of the coolest things. And one of the things I wanted to start off with was, I don't know if you remember, but when I was in sound in university, I had a project where, and I wish I had the clip because I did try to find it, but you did voiceover work for me in a story.
No.
Yeah. I did an audio play, and you played Lois and Superman's daughter. You and someone else. I had written an audio play, and you were Superman and Lois's daughter, and you were also a journalist and like following in mom's footsteps, and like you had a brother, and you guys were like talking about it. Oh, I think the documentary was kind of like a story about like having super parents and how you dealt with it. But yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
But A, I'm a really bad actor, so that must have been brutal.
No.
And B, I didn't realize I did any voiceover work before WatchMojo.
Well, that's it. That's why when you were talking about like you have the mic here and you're like, oh, I brought out the nicer mic for the voiceover. I was just like, it's funny because you've done voiceover with me before. Yeah, you were in the booth. We recorded it. It was great. It was so much fun.
I don't remember this at all.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was such a long time ago.
exactly. That's the thing. We were in university years ago, and it was fun. And then and now we're adults, and such is life. But it's fun.
I have so many weird tapes from then.
Oh, yeah?
Stuff that I did. Yeah, so many.
But it's always fun. I feel like that's one of the things when you started out and when you were in university, was this like the plan to do like what was
YouTube didn't exist when we were in university.
I know, right? Like that's the thing. I want to say to people, I hope people realize WatchMojo is like the OG like influencer YouTube channel. Like you guys were, I say that in the sense that like what you guys are doing got emulated by a lot of people, and whether or not you want to, thank you. I was gonna say
No, I'll give you that one.
yeah, you guys have been often emulated and copied, and I know that they say what is it? Mimicry is the nicest form of flattery.
Sincerest form of flattery.
I mean, sure, but at the same time, it's just like, but you don't do it as well as us, so don't do it. That's what.
Yeah, but it keeps us sharp.
True.
Any competition is good because that means we just have to look at our own practices. Are we improving? Are we that's how we look at it.
Interesting. That's what I was going to ask. Like, what's it like when you guys see someone else nipping at the buds at the style that you guys helped develop, or if anything developed, and you're looking to make sure, like, what are some of the things that you guys do? How do you innovate in that form?
I mean, we watch our competitors work just to keep an eye on everybody does that, right? Because you have to know what's going on in the space, but it depends. If we look at them and we see like, are they doing anything, whether it's SEO or something for like behind the scenes, or is it something with the content that we could be, changing, not copying, but like, is there something that they're doing that we could adapt for our own purposes?
Yeah.
But I don't think, personally, I don't ever look at a competitor as a competitor. I think a lot of people have tried. A lot of people have done what we do, but everybody's different enough that there's room for everyone. You know what I mean? That's
true. That's fair. And I think that if anything, that's probably one of the healthiest ways to approach things. I find that like one of my friends does the social media influencing thing. Not influence, but she helps guide people, and she like writes a whole bunch of videos and produces content to like help people understand. For example, like on IG, hashtags are essentially the SEO, something I didn't really know, and that she was explaining to me. And one of the things she's always saying is that, like, I don't consider anyone else who's doing what I do competition. I consider us all part of the same team. And if anything, Instagram or like YouTube, funny enough, as much as they're the platform, they're also the competition. Like, they themselves keep setting, like, every time you figure out the game, they change the game to make it a new and interesting way to play.
Okay. If WatchMojo were like a superhero,
yeah,
the supervillain would be the YouTube algorithm.
Oh my God, right? Like, that's the thing. That's what she's always saying. She's just like, when she's giving information about YouTube or Instagram, it's always the idea of like, they just keep changing things in a way that I like, and you don't even know why. Like, when they started to demonetize,
or that they're gonna do it.
Oh yeah. And if you're allowed to talk on this, do you guys ever get a heads up on stuff like that when they're gonna make major changes?
That I know of.
No. Okay.
No.
Because I always wonder.
I mean, I'm not really involved in that side of things.
Okay.
I'm more on the production end. So like, but I've never heard about us getting a heads up about anything.
Yeah, because a buddy of mine does a whole bunch of stuff for Facebook, or does a lot of stuff on Facebook, and Facebook has like some kind of system in which they contact certain people to let them know about changes. And I'm always wondering, like, does IG and do Instagram offer similar? Do IG and YouTube offer something similar? Because it seems like it seems hard. I mean, you know, like I was saying, the field, like, it's like if you were an athlete who has run a certain track every day of your life, and then one day someone just puts a speed bump or a bump or something, and you don't know, and you trip, and you're like, but you get up and you keep going and you pick up your speed and you catch back up, but then they put two holes, and that to me seems kind of...
Yeah, it's definitely happened to us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's affected us when it has happened. But I mean, it's not just YouTube. I mean, Facebook was notoriously bad for this a few years ago. Like, there were all these Facebook specific video businesses because Facebook video was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
And they changed something and companies went out of business.
Oh.
Because they pivoted, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really know. Again, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it was a lot more serious than anything YouTube has ever done.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I have heard stories about people who, like you said, pivoted towards the Facebook thing because at the time, because that was the other thing, right? At one time, YouTube kind of did this demonetization restructuring thing, and a lot of people turned to Facebook because they were like, oh, well, I can get this many hits on YouTube, but I can get this many hits on Facebook, but they weren't able to monetize the Facebook structure yet. But they started switching over. Where, you know, for you, which I guess personally, Facebook and YouTube, IG, I would imagine your YouTube feels like the most comfortable one for you guys, or for you personally, like for
as
a platform. Like, did you ever?
Oh yeah, no, we're a YouTube company.
Yeah,
but I mean, we do have teams for every platform. So we have, you know, Facebook specific teams that are doing video specific to Facebook, and IGTV and Snap. Oh, our Snapchat channel, or our Snapchat is our second biggest platform.
Oh man, that's true. Yo, I haven't been on Snapchat in so long. I feel like I'm definitely not the age range or the demo that they're aiming for anymore. But that's true. Snapchat is I guess it's WatchMojo. It's like,
yeah, I think so. WatchMojo. We also have a Ms. Mojo, and I believe we have Mojo Plays, which is our gaming channel.
Oh, dope. Okay.
I think we have that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't spend a ton of time on Snapchat.
That's fair.
Unless it involves filters.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, our Snapchat it goes gangbusters. It's great.
That's dope.
But I mean, they have to, you know, re-edit everything for vertical because it's a vertical platform.
Yeah.
You have to make it.
Oh, you cut for a second, folks. Hold on, it's gonna come back. She didn't go anywhere. The internet, as she mentioned to me earlier, sometimes does this to her. When you are someone that's on there often, like we said, it challenges you and tries to do things to limit your ability to be awesome on there. We are back, baby.
I'm so sorry.
That's not your fault. While you were gone,
It's not. I don't know what the hell.
while you were gone, I explained to the listeners and to the viewers that the internet likes to challenge you because you've figured out how to be great on it. So sometimes it throws a wrench just to slow you down. It's just like, oh, yeah? You want to do your first podcast? Wrench. Stop that bike.
Yeah. So now we're doing it on my personal iPhone hotspot because I have so many gigs of data. So hopefully,
I mean, also at this point, I feel like for those of you who don't know, if you're watching this way later, this is being done during the COVID pandemic, and from what I understand, hopefully, I hope they're still sticking to it because I've been using my data a lot. They were getting rid of the limits for the time being. Most of the companies. As a way of being
iPhone data, like
data,
phone data.
Yeah, they were supposed to.
I didn't know that.
They said
I
they
thought
were
that
going
was just
to.
for home internet.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm with Fido. I don't mind saying it, but I know at one point they were saying that they weren't limiting the data because they want people to stay home. Now, if they continued with that I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, financially,
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, true. yeah, we'll find out in a fun way. But yeah, you were talking about the switching for vertical, Snapchat. You guys are working, Miss Mojo, and all that jazz.
Yes, Snapchat is successful. It is not. But it's not as easy as just like we're going to take this video and put it on Snapchat. There's a whole overhaul that has to happen.
Yeah.
And we have a very, very hardworking team on the Snapchat team that I'm very proud of.
I think that's really cool. And one of the things that it's funny because it makes me think about. Have you ever heard of Quibi? It was
yes.
Yeah. So Quibi, because I've been reporting on Quibi quite a bit because I'm annoyed with it. I tested it out here, and it didn't really, come up to snuff as I expected. But one of the things I was really looking forward to was the turnstile technology, where it was supposed to be that once you rotated, it kind of shifts. And I like the idea that for you guys, you're almost kind of doing that. It's for different platforms, of course, but if ever there was an app that came out where turnstile was a thing, because you already have a team that's so good at editing for the vertical and you already do this stuff in landscape, then you could, some of those videos could pretty much just be kind of spliced so that whatever the coding would be, you could rotate. And that seems cool to me.
Theoretically.
Yeah, because you're already doing the work, which.
Yeah. It's just, I was honestly, it's funny. I was thinking about this on my run the other day, and I don't know why, because I don't edit. But I was thinking, like, if there were a technology, but it's not as easy as just like, because think of like a Game of Thrones battle scene, and you put that in vertical, like you're not seeing anything. They have to they have to choose specific shots that look good in vertical, like close-up shots of one person that aren't two people that you basically just see their noses. There's a lot of thought that goes into it that I can't even wrap. I'm not an editor, so I can't wrap my head around it, but I'm very impressed with the work that they have done.
Did you get to test out Quibi at all to see what some of the shows?
I haven't personally.
Okay.
But we did do something on Quibi when it first started.
Oh, okay.
Like reasons you should check it out or something like that, because I think it has a really long test
3 months
period.
90 days, except not available in Quebec, which was, of course, I should have known. Hey, Disney Plus had their 7 days and that was available, so I thought maybe Quibi figured their stuff out. But yeah, the exactly what you're talking about for the shots, it's that thing of, there's, for example, the one show I really actually kind of liked, Nikki Fresh, which is Nicole Richie. She does this she's playing kind of this like really avant-garde, funny character who wants to do parent trap. So like trap music for parents. And so she does like a music video at the end of every episode. She has like her hype man who's like this flamboyantly gay, hilarious character. And they just kind of go on these adventures. And that one, exactly like you were saying, when you rotate it, it's just like a really tight shot of Nicole Richie's face. And then when you go landscape, it's like her and the guy hanging out. And that was one of the unfortunate parts, that it kept doing what I felt was a very limited...
Okay, I'm surprised, though. I thought they would have nailed that.
Right?
Like, I thought that was the... Okay, so that's why you didn't like it. Okay.
Yeah, because Nikki Fresh is a great concept for a show. If you told me, and one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is YouTube shows, because when I was in school at the time, and I 100% accept my privilege and my hoity-toityness, because early on when we did Geektastic Cypher, one of the guys on the show wanted to talk about a YouTube series that like reviewed cars, and I was just like, well, that's not really a TV show because we do mostly TV shows, and he's just like, why is that not a TV show? And that's when I realized my privilege, and even in university they all told us to be open-minded and to like think about the next thing, and here I was being the exact person I kind of wish I'd never been, like saying like, ugh, you're talking about a YouTube series. Please bring something else to the table. And I like the next week I full on apologized to him because I just remembered hearing like my teacher's voices in my head afterwards being like, you've become the person you hate most in this world. And I was like, no.
It's like, print versus the internet. It's the new frontier. Well, it's not new anymore.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, what were some of the things that you guys did early on that helped with the new frontier at the time?
Oh my God. It's really funny actually that you asked me this today because I don't want to tell anyone to go do this, but I was on the WatchMojo YouTube channel and I sorted by oldest to newest.
Oh, okay.
And some of the early videos, like I was trying to find our first lists, like our first top 10s. And I didn't get that far because we have so many videos before that. But, oh my God, it was just, we did skits. We did, like bikini fashion shows, although I don't think those are online anymore. We did like a lot of, I did cooking videos.
Oh, cool.
Did a lot of stuff, travel stuff,
which,
we're doing again now. We did a lot with language videos, like how to speak different languages.
Okay.
Lots of random interviews. Anyway, we did so much stuff. But one day somebody was just like, hey, we should do a top 10. And or like, I don't even think the first list was a top 10. I think it was a top 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And we noticed that did really well. And we just figured, okay, people like it, so we'll keep doing it. And the rest is history, I guess.
And I mean, that what you're describing sounds perfectly fair, because even when we were in school, I don't know if you had professors who said something similar, but there was nothing wrong with trying to test out different lanes to see what lane felt perfect for you and what lane was what people were looking for. And I mean, yeah,
because I mean, like okay, I don't know what you did in university. I did a journalism degree.
I was doing communications. Yeah. So we were like down the hall from each other half the time.
Yeah, exactly. But journalism, like, I'm not calling anyone snobs, but like a lot of the people there were serious about journalism.
Yeah.
And I was kind of in a group that was more interested in like entertainment journalism, kind of like less serious politics and like genocide and that kind of thing, which obviously I fully respect everybody who went on to do that, and I think they do amazing work, but it was just not for me. Anyway, I don't know what the point of that story was, but so yeah, it was
well, you were describing that you had a different
not everything
lane.
I learned but not everything I learned in journalism school kind of applied. Like you wouldn't try to see what's successful in journalism, you know what I mean? We're like, that's the entertainment side of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, I think what you did was realize early on that journalism was going to give you the foundation to do what you wanted to do, though, because the entertainment stuff, like, I gotta be honest, people talk about the person who does the entertainment, like how TV shows always depict the person who does like, I'm doing the entertainment news, I do the fluff pieces, I want to do more. But there are some people who like doing the entertainment news and quote unquote fluff pieces, even though they're not, they're just entertainment news. Because guess what, guys? Not everyone wants to hear about the genocides and all that stuff all the time. If we did, we'd watch the 24/7 news channels, but we kind of, I think it's safe to say we can see that the E! Network is also popular, and they do some of the entertainment stuff. So, obviously.
Well, I mean, I'll say this, because, it's very easy to look at some of the people that I went to school with and what they're doing and kind of like the difference they're making in the world with their writing or their work.
Yeah.
And think, oh my God, like what I'm doing is not important. But we get notes from fans. saying you guys really helped me through a rough time, or I was in the hospital after, and after surgery, and I was recovering for a couple of months, and you guys, without you guys, I wouldn't have gotten through it, and stuff like that. And just knowing that we have made a difference in people's lives is, that just makes everything worthwhile for me.
Yeah, of course. When you started, did you ever expect that to be something you'd get? No,
not at all.
I could have told you. Like, I honestly, no, seriously. Whenever I do, one of the things that I really liked when I was a program director at the radio station at Concordia, I'd have people come in and they'd have like ideas for shows. And I remember telling them, they'd always be like, oh, I'm really nervous. And I tell them, you're here because you feel that there's a voice for the X thing that you want to discuss. And there's a lot of people out there, and you're not the only person who likes this. And maybe you're the first person to realize you like this, and other people are going to discover it because of you. But that's still important. And I think that's what I feel. That's why when I talk about WatchMojo, I feel like that's one of the things that you guys did. I feel like there was, like, did we all love top 10 lists? Oh, you'd sit around with your friends and be like, yo, what are your top 5 this? What are your top 7 this? But like, for someone to do a show and discuss that, and then on top of that, you start a lot of discussions, because how many people, like, how many comments
YouTube is all about arguing with people, and people going and like duking it out, and we are giving them something to argue with.
What has been your favorite argument that you've seen?
Oof. Okay, come back to me.
Okay. I just know that, like, on the geek side, it's always just like, who's better, like Superman or Thor or the Hulk.
Ooh. You know what? Okay, so we're the same age,
Yeah.
which is whatever age, doesn't matter.
Age X.
But something that I was really surprised about was we used to crap on the Star Wars prequels all the time.
Ooh, okay.
Because
we're getting into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when they came out,
Yeah.
people hated them. People hated them for years.
Yeah.
About I don't know when it was. Maybe let's say 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The tides turned.
Oh, I know.
And then all of a sudden it was like, how dare you be talking crap about the Star Wars prequels? And I was like, whoa, because I remember exactly what video it was when this happened. We did like something like top 10 reasons the Star Wars prequels suck. And the backlash was insane. And we were like,
God.
when did this happen?
Yeah.
And I know what happened. It was because all the kids who would watch them as kids when they came out were now old enough to be commenting on YouTube. And so like, if you watch something as a kid, you're not going to see the flaws, and you're still not going to see the flaws once you've grown up and you've loved it as a kid. So that's why the prequels are like popular now. And
Thank you.
Can't crap all over them and say that Hayden Christensen can't act, but they are the same people who are crapping all over the Rian Johnson one now, and I cannot wait until the kids who saw those now are old enough to tell them that I can't wait to see their reactions to that.
Oh my God. But thank you. No, that is, my God, I didn't think about that. That is such a valid point, because the amount of times that I've had, like I had on May 4th, we did our May the 4th episode, and I had Ari, I had a guest on who's super awesome, and she knows tons of stuff about Star Wars. It was such a great conversation. And we talked about the prequels, and she dropped all this like knowledge about how she could, like, there's so many things they could have done that would have made it better. But yeah, there were people in my comments, or there were people like DMing me being like, you guys were really rough on the prequels. Like, it's not that bad if you really think about what they were trying to tell you. And I'm like, guys, you're not going to convince me. I dare go this far. I don't like the first Star Wars movie.
Like A New Hope?
Yeah. And I'm not whispering. I just didn't want to say it too loud because, But yeah, I don't. No offense to Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's a great actor now. But when you rewatch that movie, when you rewatch that movie, Mark Hamill wasn't the greatest actor.
I was going to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power gears.
I'm sorry, guys. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm not trying to, again, great.
I think he'd be the first to say he was bad in that movie.
Right? Thank you. I think he's pretty fair about it. He's made comments like when he's
pretty self-aware.
Yeah. And like, Harrison was kind of finding his footing as like I mean, Harrison's actually really good, but he's also still kind of I guess he's an anti-hero, and it's one of the first times you get such a like anti-hero, like he shot first, like stuff like that. So, you know, the first time I watched it and everyone was just like, yeah, you got to watch Star Wars. And I don't know, in my teens, maybe I was kind of just like, okay, like I didn't tell anybody I didn't love it, because if you want to be a nerd, there's like certain things you have to like do. But yeah.
To be in the nerd club. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a little bit in the nerd club. Let's talk about our favorite movie, Back to the Future. Let's talk
Is that your favorite movie?
Dude, yes. 100. My favorite
I didn't know that.
My favorite movies are Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay. Let's talk about Back to the Future 2.
Okay. Because that's my favorite.
Back to the Future 2 is the best one.
Yes. Yeah, okay. You know what? I didn't say that first because I was afraid that I would offend you. Because there's some people who get really upset when I say Back to the Future 2 is the best.
Know.
Right? Okay.
This is the hill I will die on.
Cheers. 100%. Back to the Future 2 has all the greatest storytelling, has all the action, has crazy, like, just every layer of it, and the back and the forth, and it's so much fun. And Back to the Future 1...
Look...
No, guest. By all means, you go. Please.
No, I mean,
enough.
my big thing about my favorite storytelling device is like seeing something you've already seen from another angle or from another like another perspective or something. And Back to the Future has that. So like you have everything from Back to the Future 1.
Yeah.
But then you have more, and you have like the future, and you have Michael J. Fox in a dress. I love it.
It's great. And I think that when, you know, and that's, I've had those arguments with people where they're just like, oh, but the first one is so classic and like he helps invent rock and roll. And I'm like, okay, no offense, guys, but as a black guy, I'm not sure I want to give kudos to Michael J. Fox being the one to give Chuck Berry the idea for half the songs. Let's, you know.
Okay, sidebar. Do you ever listen to John Mulaney?
Yes,
comedian?
I love him. He's amazing.
Okay. Have you heard his Back to the Future bit?
Oh, God, I don't remember it right now, but please feel free to remind me.
Okay. Well, there's a line in it where he's like, we're going to say that a white guy wrote Johnny Be Good, so we're going to take that away from them.
Yes.
Really you should go find it. It's really, really funny.
That's, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I guess maybe that's one of the reasons that when I watch the first one, I'm just like, this is fun. But part 2 is really like them, like Doc realizing how screwed up things are when Marty going into the house and the family freaking out and Biff taking over and like essentially being a Trump. Like, oh God, like it's 2020 and so many things are relevant, guys. Like it's a little scary sometimes. What are your thoughts on the third one?
Sorry, what do I think of the third one?
Yeah.
I like the third one.
Okay.
I mean, it's the third best.
Yeah, okay.
It's a fantastic trilogy.
So is your order 2, 1, 3?
Yeah.
Okay, same. Okay, cool. That's also my order for the Matrix movies. I don't know how you feel.
Really?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Matrix?
Okay, I don't have a dog in that fight.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I've seen them all, but I don't. Back to the Future, I live and breathe.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, I live and breathe.
Ooh.
I love Ghostbusters 2.
Yes.
I will die on that hill as well.
Are you excited?
But Matrix, I've seen them all, but I don't. I just know that WatchMojo's official opinion is that the 2 and 3 suck.
2 sucks, but there's so much great action in 2. That's fair. I'll let you.
No, I mean, I don't care. But like, tell me why. Tell me why. Sorry.
Nothing. Okay, sorry. But yeah, you know, it's funny. The first one I think was someone said shout outs to Back to the Future Crystal Pepsi. The first one, I do like the first one a lot. Don't get me wrong.
There's no Crystal Pepsi in it. It's just regular Pepsi.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. See look at shade being thrown, folks. But the first one, Matrix, fun movie, great story, introduction. It kind of feels like a pilot episode of something that has a lot more to it, if you understand if you get what I mean. And then the second one is just like, oh, I'm a full-on badass. I got the powers. I can do pretty much anything. We're gonna win this. I just need to like learn more. And it's like the exploration of like how the Matrix works, and you know, that's why I like it more.
Isn't that the thing though? Isn't that the thing about trilogies? The second one's always better because it's the one with all the action, and you don't need all that like exposition of the first one to like get to. So it's like all the action and story, like crux of storytelling. Like, doesn't everybody like the Empire? Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people who feel like the second is better than the first, which once again, for sure, when I was watching the Star Wars movies the first time, and I watched all three, when I got through the first one, I was just like, okay, everyone tells me this is one of the greatest movies. I was also a Trekker kid at the time, very much into Next Generation by the time I watched this. So in my head, I was just like, it's no Star Trek if you ask me, but...
Do we need to talk about Brent Spiner?
Wait, you know that story. You know my Brent Spiner story.
You have a Brent Spiner story? I have a Brent Spiner story.
Okay, do you want to go first? Because mine isn't good. I don't like the man.
No, I want you. Mine's terrible.
Oh my God! Let's do this. Brent Spiner.
You go first.
Okay, so so at this point in my life, I'm at Fan Expo in Toronto. I've seen.
Wait, when was this?
Oh, years ago. The Star Trek Nemesis, the last one of the Next Generation films, had just come out. It's the last one.
What? That's like 2002.
Is it that long ago? I don't remember when that one came out.
I think so.
Possibly.
Is that the one with Tom Hardy?
Yes. Yeah,
then
it is.
I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is that. Oh my God, it's that long ago? Jesus. So
I think so.
I'm at Fan Expo. I'm in Toronto. He's there. I just saw the movie maybe a couple like months ago, or maybe I've seen the movie a year ago. So let's say it's 3 or 4.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is Nemesis, and spoiler alert of Star Trek Nemesis, by the way,
Yeah.
is that the one where Data has like a twin, or there's like another Data?
Yeah, there's like a Data that's like
and Data dies in that movie, and
exactly.
then but they still have this other Data.
Exactly. Okay. So Data I grew up watching, Geordie LaForge, watch that relationship blossom. I saw him die. And I see Brent Spiner. I had a media pass. I go into Fan Expo. I get to go in on the floor early. I get to talk to some of the guests and interview them, you know, little short, quick interviews beforehand. And I'm there so early that day that the guests are walking to their tables. And Brent, like, there's no one else on the floor except for me, some of the salespeople, and him and Christy Swanson. So they're both walking.
Is that Buffy?
Yeah, the original Buffy.
Yeah.
Who I found out was a hardcore like Republican right wing after, so I'm a little sad. But anyways, so I go up to Brent and I'm just like, oh my God, hey, and not fanboy, but I'm just like, sir, I just want to tell you, I grew up watching you on Star Trek: The Next Generation. The character of Data has always been one of my favorites. I like to look at the most logical side of things, and seeing him die in that movie was really hard. It was the first time I cried in a film, and it meant a lot to me. I wanted to thank you sincerely for the acting you did in that role. It was a pleasure to meet. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I stick out my hand, and he looks at me and he goes, "I don't do that," and just turns around and walks away. After I've spilt my heart out about the importance this character meant to me, like, heart-wrenching. Like, I cried for the first time in a movie ever. Nothing has ever made me cry in a movie. It never got to me. But watching Data die to self-sacrifice himself for Picard got to me. And I'm talking to the man who filmed that scene, the actor who was there, and he just looks at me and, like, as my hand is out, and walks away. And then Christy Swanson hugged me because she saw how sad I was. And she's just like, "It's so nice to meet you," and then hugged me afterwards, which I enjoyed up until I found out she was a hardcore, like, nasty Republican. But then, you know, whatever. I can't really fix that's her. She has the right to be that way. So, yeah, that's my Brent Spiner story. And, yeah, I was very
I also have a disappointing Republican fangirl thing, though.
Oh, yes.
I really like Dean Cain as Superman. And he's a crazy...
No!
Oh, he's a nut. Don't go to his Twitter. You'll die. Don't go to his Twitter.
I know Kevin Sorbo is. That's the other one that I heard about.
Seriously, you go to his Twitter. I don't know. Do whatever you want. But
Dean Cain? Oh no! Your face. You're like, you look. You look so devastated. Your face is genuinely.
Okay, here's the thing. I loved Lois and Clark.
Of course.
And I thought he was such a great Superman and such a great Clark Kent. And I know he's like, I know it's like a different character.
Yeah.
He was like a romantic lead Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Fine. But like, it worked for me. Whatever.
Yeah.
He was at Comic-Con either last year or 2 years ago, I guess,
Okay.
at Montreal Comic-Con.
Yeah. You had recently.
And I had and I was like, I could go and I could meet Dean Cain and I could like, you know,
yeah.
I could
live
you
a
know,
Lois Lane
like,
dream.
Kid me would be very excited about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. So I didn't, because I was like, he's disappointed me so much as a human being.
Oh no!
Now this is out there. Yeah, no, it's really like, seriously, go to his Twitter. It's very disappointing.
Kevin Sorbo, I don't know if you've ever seen his stuff, but equally questionable. Like I remember he was at Montreal Comic Con one year, and I saw him in the corner. And like he had a huge line, and then the line like died out, and I'm walking by, and he like waves at me, and I'm like, oh, because I didn't know at the time. I wave, and my buddy like pulls my hand down. I'm like, what? He's just like, don't wave at Sorbo. I'm like, why? And he like takes out his phone and shows me. He shows me like all the stuff that Sorbo said about like the states and like immigration, and I'm like, and in a really cheesy moment, I like turned.
Like Dean Cain's on Fox News a lot.
Really? What is happening? Why? Yeah. Christy Swanson is like, she tweets some nasty stuff. Stacey Dash too is another one that like, man, I mean, I guess they're allowed to have their opinion. It's just, I definitely don't agree with it.
No, I know they're allowed to have their opinion, but like some of the stuff is just, it's objectively terrible.
Oh yeah? Okay. I was trying to shoot them some bail a little bit because I I don't want to hate on them completely, but I mean, I do genuinely hate the things they're saying. I just, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Well, my Brent Spiner story.
Yes, I don't want to be a snowflake liberal, as they say, and be like, they hurt my feelings. I hate them. And they're allowed to have those opinions. They're just, you're horrible people if you think certain things. So,
but I don't have to be a fan of them anymore, do I?
Exactly. That's the thing I tell people. Yeah. Okay, Brent Spiner, exactly. please let me.
My Brent Spiner story is he was at Montreal Comic Con. I think it was 2010.
Okay.
And we were covering it for WatchMojo. I was covering it for WatchMojo, and so I went up and I said, "Would you mind if we did an interview?" And he was like, "Sure." So he's like, "Do you mind if I eat during it?" I was like, "I don't care." He was eating bagels, obviously, Montreal bagels.
Of course.
So we start filming, and I start my line of questions about Star Trek, and he's like, "I don't talk about Star Trek." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what? You're at Comic-Con? And why? Like, what else have you done?" He wanted to talk about some movie he had done with like Walter Matthau or whatever, like on a boat. And I was just like, sure. Actually, this will full circle back to my Dean Cain story.
Yeah.
At the time, I had been binging Lois and Clark because I have them all on DVD, because why not? And I had just seen an episode where Lois had like a 1-question interview with the president. Yeah. And she didn't know what to ask him. And Clark was like, "You should ask him if you were a baseball player, what position would he play?" And she's like, "That's stupid." But she ended up doing it, and he opened up like a lot, and she got a great interview out of it and whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
So like I was panicking because all my questions were Star Trek related.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, dude, you're Brent Spiner.
And so yeah, I know. I think, and people are like, "That's just a sense of humor." And I was just like, well, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so I asked him the baseball question.
Oh, what did he say? Wait,
he had an answer, and he was like, "See, that was the first good question you asked me." It's all online. This is online. Okay, you can watch it.
Yeah. You know what? When I post this episode on YouTube, I'll put the little like dot icon so that people can go watch that at the end. That is, oh God. You know, so I've had a lot of conversations with people about entertainment and actors and the industry. And so you're probably one of the best people I could talk to, because you've met a lot of people in your line of work. I get that they're human, and I'm not trying to take away the fact that they're human, but the idea that they don't want to talk about the things that they've done that have influenced people, what are your thoughts on that? Because I don't sometimes.
No. Be grateful that you have made an impact in someone's life. Yeah. And be gracious about it. That's what I think about it. I honestly like. I mean, any of the A-list celebrities that I've met, nothing but nice things to say about them. Okay, yeah. Like, you know, The Rock is a consummate professional.
Oh,
I don't think you would
awesome.
ever catch him being a douche anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, but it's more like this. I don't even know if B-list is the correct, like maybe it's D-list celebrities, but like, I don't know. The lower down you go, and maybe that's why they're not as famous. Like
Yeah.
maybe The Rock is super famous because he is a consummate pro
Yeah.
and he will put in the work, and he always is on his game kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway.
No, that's an interesting point though.
Stop, like, get over yourself is what I think about people who don't want to talk about the thing that made them famous.
Yeah. I mean, like, if anyone was to talk to you and, like, I mean, I could have had this whole conversation with you and tried not to talk about WatchMojo, but I feel like you've done so much with WatchMojo.
But then I'm Billy Bob.
Yeah. Because you've done so much with WatchMojo. I know, and again, I said this to you before I started the show, and I've said it to other guests on the show. One of the things that I love about doing the show is I get to brag with people about the things that they're humble about. And you are humble in the sense that I think, you know, what you've done, voiceover work, interviews, the model that you helped develop there, because, you know, you were one of the first people there, and a lot of the structure was something that you helped build. Like, you can be proud of the work that you've done, and that's great. And I don't know if everyone knows that. I know a lot of people see your face, a lot of people hear your wonderful voice, but I don't know if they know you did put in a lot of work. And like you said, when we first started doing this stuff and when you got to WatchMojo, YouTube was a relatively new thing, and you helped work at building this new thing into what it is now. And that's amazing. Like, God, girl, here are your flowers. Like, honestly.
Thank you. I usually keep it to myself that I had anything to do with anything at the beginning of the company, if I'm being honest.
Well,
I don't know why.
I hope you don't mind that I said it. I just know that you've been there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've done great stuff. And you know, I think one of the things, a true sign of surviving the industry and an industry that was growing is the fact that, one, you guys are still here, and two, it was like you've never claimed to have done it by yourself, and no one there would say that. You guys I always see everyone posting about WatchMojo as a team, Miss Mojo as a team. You know, the gaming stuff is always like two people playing a game, interacting, having fun. And that's one of the things that even with the Franklin Armstrong Collective, I'm always hoping and I thrive for something similar in that team and that collective approach, because I think it really is important. If
For sure.
If I could ask you, what is something you would tell to someone who's similarly trying to launch something?
Oh, wow. That's such a tough question, because like you said, we got in like before there was any competition. So to start on YouTube now, and for me to try to give somebody advice on how to succeed now.
Yeah. But
I wouldn't even know where to begin now. You know what I mean?
But I mean, there are some aspects of it that will always shine through, though, right? Like, I understand what you mean about like trying to start when YouTube is a completely different beast. But in the sense of like teamwork and stuff, what are some of the things that you feel you could pass on to someone that you've seen?
Well, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with the teamwork thing, because we have been the same core team since I got there, and since before I was there. It was the same core team, and we're still there, and we're still, you know, we've hired people to help with all the daily tasks and everything, but you know, we've been the same ones developing and managing, the tone of the videos, the editing style, the graphics, you know, like just everything. It's been the same team from day one. So I would say if you can find people that you can stand to work with for the next 15 years, that's probably a good place to start.
That's awesome, dude. It's true. Yeah. Having a team that you can like work with on long term sounds fun. Yeah. That's great. Thank you. I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like I'd be missing out if I didn't get to ask, and I know you've talked about it a bit, but Tom met you, freaked out, pretty much had a heart attack on camera. Like, what kind of experience is it when someone that kids in hospitals cry when they sees you and freaks out. You know what I mean? Like, what's...
I'm very compartmentalized from that. I mean, the video, it's my screensaver. So like, that's my one, I don't need help staying humble. I need help remembering that moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have been to 4 junkets for movies so far.
Okay, cool.
And I'm 4 for 4 on there being at least one celebrity there who watched WatchMojo.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
It's super weird. Like the last one I was at was Fantasy Island, and Michael Pena was like, "Yeah, I listen to you to fall asleep." I'm like, "You do what now?"
Oh my god, I love Michael. Yo, that dude's so awesome.
I know. Oh. Yeah, he's super awesome.
He's so good in the MCU too.
I think he's a YouTube nerd.
Is he? Oh my god.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, "What's your YouTube guilty pleasure?" And he went on like, I want to say like a 2-minute I had 5 minutes with him. Yeah. A 2-minute tangent about this guy who does chess videos. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, you know, like I said at the beginning, that there was that time where I was being hoity-toity and was talking about YouTube and YouTube television series as if they weren't real television. And I had to really check myself a week later, man, because I got to say, if anything, YouTube has been ahead of the game when it comes to trying to innovate. Like, Quibi is essentially trying to capture what, like, if you were trying to do shows on YouTube, Quibi is trying to do that, because they're like, the episodes are 6 minutes and, you know, it's like really short, but here's a full season, and like a season is actually only 3 episodes divided into 6-minute segments. And I feel like, you know, what was the one with The Guild? I feel like The Guild is one of those OG. I don't know if you ever watched that, but the way The Guild was structured, it's like it was like a movie that was cut into segments, and that's great. And I think that approach was unique and new, and YouTube did it well. And then all these other people are trying to do something similar. Even, you know what? They're all YouTube's grandkids. Snapchat, Instagram, all you guys. Any of you doing the video thing out there, YouTube did it first. There you go. That's my 2 cents.
And it was all because of Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction.
Oh my God, what?
Do you not know that story?
No. Yes, please.
Well, that's like the origin myth of YouTube.
Okay.
That they were like, it was after there was Super Bowl 2005, I think, and they were like, "Oh, we can't find the video anywhere. Maybe we need a platform where we can upload all sorts of videos." And then they founded YouTube. The end.
Are you? I mean, that's the.
I'm pretty sure.
Hot damn, that's crazy.
It's an origin myth, right?
Yeah. That is pretty cool. That is so interesting, man. Okay. Well, Rebecca, I got to say, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you had fun on this is your first podcast appearance.
I had fun.
Thank you. I'll say this. They get better because I'm not the best at this. So whoever you get to talk to next, I'm sure you'll have a better time. They might be a little more professional. I kind of live in the whole that the whole point of this. It's literally called Not a Journalist because I'm not a journalist. I'm a guy who likes talking to people that he, you know, knows or hasn't spoken to in a long time and who do cool shit. So it's like, hey, you're cool. Let's talk. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
Works for me.
It's been fun catching up with you. Do you want to tell people all the socials, the public social medias that they should be checking out? And I'll put those, I always point the wrong way. I'll put those right here underneath you this way.
Okay. Like mine or WatchMojo's?
Oh, anything you want to share that you think
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Rebecca Brayton. On YouTube, youtube.com/WatchMojo Lady.
WatchMojo Lady?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then WatchMojo is WatchMojo everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Ms. Mojo. My sister is the voice of Ms. Mojo, or one of the voices on Ms. Mojo. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, my God. I remember meeting your sister one year.
It's a family affair.
That's so cool. I met her that one year. We were at Comic-Con. I think it was the year Christopher Lloyd was at Comic-Con, possibly. Because I know,
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, because I know you and I bumped into you when you were there, and your sister was there, and I think that was one of the first times I met your sister. But I don't know if she was doing stuff at WatchMojo at that point. That was like the first.
No, she wouldn't have been.
Okay,
She's been there 4 years, I think.
Okay, cool.
Maybe
yeah.
5.
Yeah, I just remember you guys were both very excited, and if I'm not mistaken, you had the like Marty puffy vest.
I don't think I was wearing the vest.
Not that,
I had the hat. I have the Back to the Future 2 hat. I now have the vest. I have a whole Marty costume.
Dope.
And we got a picture with Doc with the DeLorean.
Yeah. Yeah, I have his autograph. I never got a picture with him though. Which
I mean, it was like $170 and I don't even care.
I know. At the time I just didn't have the money, but I regret it because
I know. It's insane.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like it's the only time I've ever done something like that.
Totally worth it. Oh, preach it to the choir of the converted. I don't remember how much I paid for Patrick Stewart, but I paid what I had to pay, and I got to meet Patrick Stewart, and that's Captain Picard, and I was damn happy, and I don't care. So I get it. It's totally worth it. Folks, this has been another edition of Not a Journalist. Ladies and gentlemen, Rebecca Brayton, one of the awesome, wonderful people from WatchMojo. Thank you so much, Rebecca, again. If you guys want to check out all her stuff, like she said, it's all going to be right here, and you guys can follow all her social medias, and I'm going to list them right there. That's it. Rebecca, thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Take care.
Good to talk to you.
That was great. Guys, that's pretty much the whole show. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. We're going to have Jai, Nitai, Lotus on the show, so make sure you guys tune in. Thank you so very much. Take care, everybody. Always a blast being on here with you wonderful people.